We often hear the phrase, "you are enough." It's meant as reassurance, a reminder that we are whole and worthy. But if you've ever whispered to yourself, "I'm not enough," you know how deeply true it can feel. And when someone tells you, "Don't believe that, you are enough," it may be something you long to believe, yet it doesn't land. The truth is, when you don't feel enough, the experience itself is real. And like all feelings, it carries wisdom. Feelings are how we make sense of our world. They give us information about where we are and what direction we're heading. And that's why it's so important to understand where a feeling comes from and how to work with it. When we avoid what's uncomfortable, we bury information that we actually need. We hope that by adding something else, it will disappear. But it doesn't. Instead, what disappears is us. We hide ourselves from our own view. So what does enough mean? It means something has the capacity, it's able, it's adequate. And when we say, "I'm not enough," we're really saying, "I'm unable." Unable to what? Unable to be, to show up, to do what we want to do because it feels like something is missing. We feel like a part of us is missing. Our essence, our energy, our attention. The root of that feeling isn't brokenness, but avoidance, which distracts us from meeting ourselves. Our attention is often pulled away from ourselves by the beliefs, identities, and stories we have absorbed. Underneath those distractions is a belief: you're not strong enough to face this part of yourself. That is a distortion. This isn't true. We aren't born afraid of ourselves. Somewhere along the way, we're told by culture, family, circumstances, experiences that we are broken, not enough, or too much. Those messages come from outside us, so the feeling of not enough isn't incorrect. It's actually pointing to something real. It's showing that our attention and energy are being pulled away from ourselves. Even if you do nothing, if your energy is scattered the moment you wake up, you'll feel exhausted. You won't feel like you have enough to do what you want to do. And that is draining. This distraction is a sign that you've been conditioned to believe being elsewhere is safer than being with yourself. That conditioning isn't your fault. When we're children, we don't have the ability to discern. We absorb everything. We are receivers, and our self-concept is being built from those beliefs, even when they're distorted. Beliefs fix us in place, and even how we use our minds gets shaped. Much of what we call thinking isn't truly thinking. It's just the default mode network repeating what already exists, recycling old patterns on a loop. This default mode keeps us stuck, convinced there's no other way. True thinking, using your imagination, using your higher intellect, what yoga calls buddhi, is where new possibilities live. When we say, "There's no other way," we've slipped into default mode, stuck in old patterns. But when we ground ourselves, when we calm our nervous system, we can access higher intelligence. That's where real solutions come from, not fixes to patch things up, but new pathways. Fear of the unknown is really saying we fear ourselves, because the unknown is where you come from. You are endless potential. Avoidance is avoiding yourself. And of course, the systems and structures around us discourage that, because when you truly meet yourself, you're no longer controlled, you're unpredictable, and you can access your own power. We all have access to higher consciousness, but each of us experiences it in a unique way. Your imagination isn't just recycling what the system gives you, it's connecting to new information, new possibilities. That's empowerment, reclaiming your power, not creating it, because you already are enough. So when we feel not enough, the question to ask is, where am I leaking? Leaking happens where we're distracted, avoiding, protecting ego rather than protecting self. These distractions dysregulate our nervous system, and when the body becomes too disorganized, coming back to yourself can feel overwhelming. Sometimes, if the body is very weak, it even resists your own enoughness. That's why healing isn't just mental, it's deeply physical too. Your feelings are valid. They're pointing you to where your energy is being misplaced. Don't let anyone gaslight you by saying you are enough without honoring what you're actually feeling. Yes, you are enough, but if your body doesn't feel it, that's a signal to come back home to yourself. Avoidance is exhausting. Each time we scatter our energy, we leak power. We wake up already drained, convinced we don't have enough to face the day. This isn't weakness, it's conditioning. We've been taught that being elsewhere is safer than being with ourselves. But avoidance doesn't protect us. It pulls us away from our wholeness, leaving us feeling empty. Healing begins when we return to ourselves, slowly, tenderly, one piece at a time. Reclaiming enoughness isn't just mental work. The body plays a central role. When the nervous system is disorganized, coming home to yourself can feel overwhelming. And that's why healing must be physical as well as emotional, mental, and spiritual. Simple practices help us gather our energy, grounding in nature to reconnect with what is steady. Breathwork and meditation, not as fixes, but as ways of entering calm. And rituals and stillness to help remind us of our presence. And each time you meet yourself in stillness, a piece of yourself comes back. That is healing. Yes, it can be uncomfortable to sit with yourself, but discomfort is a doorway. The less noise you carry, the easier it is to step through. So when you don't feel enough, remember, it's not that you aren't enough. It's that parts of you are calling you home. Ground yourself. Honor your body. Respect its needs. And don't avoid what you feel. Each return strengthens your sense of wholeness. Each return reminds you, you are not broken. You are not missing. You are born worthy and enough. So when the feeling of not enoughness arises, don't dismiss it. Ask, where am I leaking? What part of me is calling to come home? Because enough isn't something you have to become. It is something you already are.